I'm just going down the roadway here, and I want to comment a little more about that Virginia shooting. And I know it's like one of these things that, I shouldn't be like. Let me put it this way: I can't buy into what it is at all. And if the shooter didn't have a video of himself or a body cam on him or whatever the hell he had doing the shooting, I wouldn't be questioning nothing right now too much. Or maybe there could have been something I could question, but I wouldn't be saying nothing about it. But the fact that I looked at the video from the shooter's viewpoint or whatever, point of view, when he's had a body cam on, whatever the hell it was, and I saw the flash from the weapon, the 45 ACP, I can tell you that big flame flash is not normal, not even in the least. It's a matter of fact, it doesn't do that, period. And like I said, well, you know what? Don't even take my word for it. I mean, I used to put as an avid shooter in the Marine Corps, we used to take the range and go out there on the weekends all the time. And I was a shooter before the Marine Corps and after and all that. But, I used to go out there with the gunner, the chief warrant officer, used to be the range officer. There was another gunner out there. They call him that. It's their chief warrant officer 2 and 3. His son, another sergeant, and a couple other people. And we used to go out there all the time and shoot like these metal targets too. That was even part of like what I did. And besides whatever's in the Marine Corps, right? So I mean, I've shot the 45 a lot, and I can tell you it doesn't make a flame. It's like, I don't know what the hell that was, and then I really looked into it and I found out, hey, it's a what do you call it? It's one of those stage guns, the ones you use in movie props, like it's more dramatic and stuff. Now, a lot of people say, well, what happened to Allison? What happened to oh God, I'm doing this off of memory right now. The cameraman, let's say. Well, let me put it this way: Allison's cremated, and there was no viewing of either body. The coroner claims that they were both headshots. Now, I can tell you one thing, that the Allison is definitely not a headshot in the first 2 shots for sure, and anything I can see in the video. Then the father comes out like, I'm going to fight gun control and all this kind of stuff. I'm going to fight gun ownership or whatever it is, and I'm going to stop all my employment. I'm going to get, I don't know, he's probably on a payroll for something. But, there was nobody ever saw the bodies, in the public. Okay? That's one thing. But that's not what got me. I'm not saying nothing about that per se, but, some people say it's impossible. How could you possibly have something like this happening, cover it up? Well, I'm just telling you that I know it's impossible for the flash on the weapon. It's like, a gun doesn't make a flame coming out the end of it. In the movies it does. It doesn't do that. And if you don't want to take my word for it, the 45 ACP is typically used in like silhouette shooting, competition shooting. That's pretty much the one they always use. And they load the rounds up pretty hot. You can look at dozens and dozens of YouTube videos of competitive shooters out there that are using that weapon, and try to find one that makes flames. You're not, period. That's why I was like, that did make sense. Then also, like, I spent about an hour trying to freeze frame exactly when the weapon went off and to see where the trajectory was. So if I'm looking at a point of view, it's almost like I'm looking down the barrel itself. She would have got hit, if it was a real weapon, she would have got hit upper torso from the right side diagonally through the left side, and it was like, no, she would have been screaming or not. It didn't happen, man. I mean, I could say other things about all these shootings, but when I saw that, I says, you know what? I just seen this 45 shoot so many damn times. I'm like, no way in hell. Now, the other thing is, too, here's another thing. The boyfriend of her, supposedly the guy hit like reddish brown hair. I don't remember the names. I'm not going to get into all this shit. Now, if I really wanted to get into this, I could probably really tear it up. But it's like, you'll find it out there. But I'm going to tell you a couple of things, though, that just don't add up with this deal. The boyfriend, the supposed boyfriend, he supposedly had the scrapbook of her, like with some pictures, not that many pictures, maybe it was 8, 10, 12 pictures. that could not have been the boyfriend, because if you look, some other researcher did a video showing her Facebook page, and her real boyfriend has dark hair. There was like dozens and dozens of pictures. So I don't know who this other guy was that just decided, which is strange in itself. He decided to go in the, oh, my girlfriend shot. I'm going to go get my scrapbook and go to the news and talk about her and show her pictures. That in itself was a strange behavior. The whole thing was strange. I mean, the fact that even the guy walked up there, snuck up on him. I don't know. I don't want to be like flippant about this, because I know some people are totally convinced it went down, but the way it did, I am. The way I'm looking at it is, if this, what I know. I'm going to tell you this: if they use blanks for something, I don't know what the hell they use. I guess they use a movie prop gun, a specialized movie prop gun. If they use blanks, it does not work in a semi-auto, because it doesn't cycle the next round. You'd actually have to use a blank firing apparatus on it. They call it a BFA. If you use a revolver, that would work. But the problem is that doesn't fit their agenda. They're looking to ban high capacity, semi-automatic pistols, and they also said it was hollow point ammunition, which is another thing. If it was hollow point 4 feet away, and I could see the exact aiming, the way the guy, when it freeze framed the second shot, I could see exactly where the trajectory would have went, because I saw the flame coming out of the weapon, which was crazy in itself. I would have seen it would have been a perfect, but she wasn't hit, because you could see, like, I was going through this video like a gazillion different times. She wasn't hit. Like, in other words, you won't see like the body go back or something like that, but you'll see the clothes move in. Whatever. There was nothing to happen. Nothing happened. It's like, well, you know what? A lot of people just don't believe a lot of things about Vladimir Putin, for instance, and the fire that was started by the Chechenian rebels, or the apartment building blowing up, or whatever it was. It's like the Reichstag fire of the Adolf Hitler, right? And I'm telling you, I'm putting this out because it's not a matter of like a debate. If there's some really there are nefarious powers out there trying to disarm America, it's going to definitely lead to a genocide. And if you think about, if all the Jews back at the time of Hitler took it serious that the guy was a threat and what he was doing, and they armed themselves, then nothing would have happened. I know some people think that's corny, but it's not corny, because it's like you can't prove something until after it's too late, right? So I'm looking at this as like, yeah, maybe it's not going to fly too big in the public, even though they're going to try to brainwash people with it. But the video footage they actually did from the shooter's perspective with his body cam, whatever the hell it was, that was a range screw up on their part, because it shows that he fired a weapon a couple times at point blank range. He should have hit her with hollow points and stopped her cold right there. Another thing is the weapons flamed. They actually had flames coming outside. They don't do that. And you can check all the YouTube videos you want for action shooters, silhouette shooters, and those are hot loads. They do not do that type of stuff, period. So anyway, just for gonna put this out, I know nobody's, the powers that be don't like these kind of videos. I don't like doing these kind of videos myself, but the thing is, I gotta comment on this shit, because I realize that I know some things about this that other people don't. And one is about the weapon itself. No way in hell. And she was cremated. Or whoever, somebody was cremated. Whatever can I tell you, right? Somebody was cremated. And the guy that was the boyfriend, I'm repeating it again, the guy was the boyfriend, whatever the hell it was, he comes up there and, he's showing all the pictures, whatever. She had a few pictures, not that many pictures. She had a load of pictures of her real boyfriend on her Facebook page. I don't know. It's a scam. But you know, it's not so important that you understand it's a scam. You got to understand that these people that are playing this scam are vicious, and they're gonna screw us up bad. You know, I'm looking at the side where we don't need another Adolf Hitler coming on at us, because that's what it will be. It's not a joke, man. It's not drama. You know what? If they want to mock me for freaking saying like it could be a potential genocide, well, you know, don't be free. I'll tell them don't be so flippant about that either, because that's exactly what it is. And they're pushing this agenda for real. It's not a game. So anyway, oh yeah, by the way, I'll leave you with this thought. We can all think of ourselves as cats. Cats, meow meow cats. And you know, cats need their claws to defend themselves. That's why you don't declaw the cats. You know, politically correct yo-yos do that. And the cats can't defend themselves, whatever, then they become biters, whatever. But anyway, you can think of yourself like that, you know. We got to keep our claws, or else we